The wind howled across the Wyoming plains like a morning song, carrying the scent of snow and sorrow. The small town of Dry Creek had gathered that morning, faces buried under scarves and curiosity. They'd heard whispers. Another mail-order bride had arrived, one no man dared to claim. Her name was Evelyn Hart, a name that rolled off tongues like a forgotten hymn. She stepped down from the stagecoach, wrapped in a black dress, frayed at the edges. A small, battered suitcase, her only possession. Her veil was pulled low, hiding half her face. But the crowd still gasped when the light caught the faint scar, stretching from her cheek to her jaw. Rumor had it that she'd survived a fire, a tragedy that had taken her family and left her disfigured. The men in the crowd turned away, whispering cruel things. No man would take her now, but one man didn't look away. He stood tall, his broad shoulders wrapped in a dark wool coat, a silver buckle shining under the pale morning light. William Callahan, the richest rancher in 3 counties, known for his cold heart and colder eyes, had come to buy cattle that day, but fate had a different plan. The auctioneer, old and grey, stammered when he spoke. A good-hearted man could take her in. She can cook, clean, and work hard. Just needs a place to belong. No one spoke. Even the wind seemed to still. Then came William's voice, low and sure, cutting through the silence like thunder over the plains. "I'll take her." Heads turned. Murmurs erupted. The townsfolk gawked as the man who owned half of Dry Creek handed over a folded stack of bills. Evelyn lifted her veil just slightly, her eyes wide with disbelief. "You don't even know me," she whispered, trembling as he took her suitcase. "Ma'am," he said, looking into her eyes, "I know what it's like to have no one." His words were steady, but his heart wasn't. The ride to his ranch was long and silent. The stagecoach wheels creaked over frozen ground as snow began to fall heavier. Evelyn sat across from him, clutching her suitcase like it held her life inside. She watched the land roll by. Frozen fences, leafless trees, a horizon painted with loneliness. When they finally arrived, the Callahan Ranch stood proud and strong, a beacon in the wilderness. "You can stay here as long as you need," William said, opening the door to the warm glow of the hearth. No expectations. Evelyn's throat tightened. No man had ever spoken to her like that, with kindness instead of pity. Days turned to weeks, and the ranch became a place of quiet healing. She tended the fire, cooked meals, and fed the horses. He worked from dawn to dusk, but always found a reason to check on her, always asking if she was warm enough, if she needed anything. She began to smile again, though she hid it behind her veil. But one night, as a storm raged outside, she fell ill with fever. William found her slumped beside the fire, her skin burning hot. He carried her upstairs, staying by her bedside all night, cooling her forehead with a damp cloth. When dawn broke, Evelyn awoke to see him asleep in the chair beside her, his hand still holding hers. Her heart swelled with something she thought she'd buried long ago, hope. But as the snow melted and the world turned green again, a letter arrived. A stranger from her past had found her. The fire that scarred her wasn't an accident. It was set by her late husband, a man she had escaped by faking her death. Now he was alive and he was coming. William read the letter in silence, his jaw tightening. He turned to her, voice low and calm. "You're safe here," he said, but his eyes betrayed the storm within. For the first time since the day they met, Evelyn removed her veil, letting him see the scars fully. "You shouldn't have bought me," she said softly, tears glistening. "I bring trouble wherever I go." William stood frozen, staring at her face, not in disgust but in awe. "I didn't buy you," he whispered, voice breaking. "I found you." The sun rose over the Callahan Ranch, casting a golden light on the fields of frost. William stood outside, watching the horizon, his thoughts heavy with what was to come. The man from Evelyn's past, Jonathan Kane, was a shadow that threatened everything William had begun to feel. For weeks, he'd tried to ignore it. The way his heart raced when she smiled, the way her laughter lit up the quiet halls, the way her presence made his empty ranch feel like home again. But now danger had a name and it was coming for her. Inside, Evelyn packed her things quietly, tears streaking her cheeks. "I can't let him hurt you," she said when William found her. "If I leave, he'll follow me, not you." William shook his head.
You're not running anymore.
Not while I'm breathing. That night the storm came, not of snow but of reckoning. Jonathan Kane arrived on horseback, his face twisted with hate, shouting her name. William stepped outside, shotgun in hand, eyes cold as steel. You don't belong here, he said. Jonathan sneered. You bought my wife, Callahan. That makes her stolen goods. The words sliced through the air, but William didn't flinch. She's no one's property, he growled. Evelyn appeared in the doorway, her black dress whipping in the wind, her veil gone, scars visible under the lightning flashes. You burned me once, she shouted, voice trembling yet strong. But you'll never own me again. Jonathan raised his gun, but William was faster. A single shot echoed through the storm, and silence followed. When it was over, William fell to his knees, his chest rising and falling with the weight of it all. Evelyn ran to him, her trembling hands on his face. You could have died, she whispered. He looked at her, the firelight flickering in his eyes. You were worth it. In that moment, she realized what true love was. Not the kind written in fancy, letters or sealed in vows, but the kind forged in pain, sacrifice and second chances. Days later, the sheriff came to clear the matter, and the town once again buzzed with whispers. But this time, when Evelyn walked through Dry Creek beside William, people didn't look away. They saw strength where they once saw shame, beauty where they once saw scars. Months passed, and spring bloomed over the ranch. Evelyn worked beside William, planting new life where snow once lay heavy. The house was no longer silent. It was alive with laughter, warmth, and love. One evening, as the sun dipped behind the hills, William turned to her. You never did tell me what you wanted, Evelyn, he said. She smiled softly, brushing her fingers against his. I wanted a place where I wasn't a burden. He took her hand, pressing it to his chest. You're not a burden. You're the reason this heart beats again. Tears filled her eyes, not of sorrow but of gratitude. For the first time, she believed she was loved, not despite her scars, but because of them. And as the stars shimmered above the wide, open sky, William whispered, You changed my life. Evelyn Hart, she smiled, looking up at him, the wind carrying her words like a promise. And you saved mine.